Hi everyone, congratulations on making it through to Module 15. We are in the home stretch of the semester now, just a few more weeks left, and all that you have to do is complete a visual analysis final. You will complete that over the next 2 weeks, and everything that you need to know is right here in Module 15, and I'm going to walk through it right now with you in this video. So, first of all, we have the instructions for your final. They are all listed here on this page. I also have a Google Doc version of these instructions and a Word document version of these instructions. Both of these instructions also have a template embedded in that you can use to submit your final assignment. Because this is not going to be a 5-paragraph essay, you will be analyzing a visual artifact according to 6 perspectives, basically 6 lenses through which you will be able to analyze an artifact of your choosing. So ideally, this will be pulling together everything that you've learned this semester. You will be analyzing the means of its production, the way that it was presented through the medium, why was it produced, how was it produced, what are the symbols and signs and cultures that are created or communicated through this. And the goal is to work from your personal perspective, the initial reaction, that first thing that you think and feel when you look at something. We've been talking about a lot of that this semester, but then you will work through this framework in order to look at this artifact through different lenses, let's say. And at the end, you will have a more critical and more reasoned perspective, a broader understanding. So critical thinking is where you analyze, or critical thinking is bringing other perspectives into your own. So you start with your own perspective, and then you kind of work in other ways of looking at this visual artifact, for example. And at the end, you will ideally have a more reasoned and more thoughtful, more nuanced critical perspective, because as we know, the world is complicated. As we know, we are humans with our own individual experiences. Every instance of looking is a different instance of analysis. So think about, what do you want to analyze? And there are examples of what you can analyze, and there are rules and everything that will guide you through every single step of this. So I wouldn't worry about being stuck on this page too much, even though this is an overview. I will show you exactly where all of this information is laid out in even more detail in the module itself. I just want to point out that down here, I do have some previous examples from other students in previous semesters so that you can get an idea of what I am looking for with this assignment. So really, I'm looking for just a paragraph or two for each of these perspectives. So you're welcome to use those as samples. Do not use those visual artifacts for your assignment. So what we have is, this is your intro and instructions page. I'm going to put this video up at the top. I really want you to start off this week by watching John Berger, Ways of Seeing, episode 1. This was aired actually on primetime BBC in the 70s. Think of like Sunday at 8 p.m., sitting down with your family and watching this. But what it really does is, and we've talked about John Berger before. He wrote the reading for Uses of Photography. But what I think he does here is really important, because he shifts the analysis, the visual analysis, the ways of looking from the higher up, from the art historians and the world critics and the people who are paid to write about what art means. None of that matters. It doesn't matter what art means to the artist or to even the museum. What matters is how art or visual artifacts in general matter to you. How do you see this? What is your way of seeing this artifact? And so I want you to think about the importance of your perspective, your individual instance of viewing. So watching the Mona Lisa and seeing the Mona Lisa in the museum is way different. In the Louvre is so much different than looking at it through a postcard that's taped on your wall. Or even if I showed you a version of the Mona Lisa through a video, I Google image searched it and showed it to you in this video. Each instance of viewing is very different, and it will, each example of viewing, each artifact will have a different analysis to it. So as you're thinking about what you might want to visually analyze, consider whether or not it's the artifact itself, like let's say the Eiffel Tower. But if you haven't been to the Eiffel Tower, then you have to analyze a photograph of the Eiffel Tower, because you haven't actually seen the thing in real life. So thinking about the medium and how are things shown to you, how do you see something, and thinking about your own personal perspective on it. How did you come to see it, and then thinking about how it was created, who created it and why, what are the cultures being communicated by it. And John Berger does a really great job of explaining to you why your perspective is so important and why it's important to visually analyze. There's a quote I like to use in this module. It says that everything looked at closely is full of wonder. And I really like visual analysis because it helps me personally understand, why did I have that personal reaction to something? You start with this personal reaction, you fold in all these other ideas, and then at the end you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of maybe why I had that personal reaction to it. Maybe because I saw it on my phone in the context of this, and here's how it was produced, and here's how the difference between the moment of its creation and the moment of your viewing of it. We've kind of gone into these sorts of analyses before, but you're putting them all together this time. So here's another example of a visual analysis. This is where I got this framework that you're all going to be using from, so you can see it right here. And there's my quote: everything looked at closely is full of wonder. So please go through this reading, as it will outline the entire framework that I'm assigning to you, including this preparation that you are going to need to do this week first, or for the first assignment. So you will post in your discussion board, and you will be doing this preparation, which will be outlined in more detail on another page within this module as well. But this reading is sort of like your guidebook for your final. So print this out or keep it open in a tab as you work on this assignment, because it will show you exactly what I'm looking for. So you will have to do the preparation for analysis for your right now for the first module, and then for your final, you will actually complete according to the 6 perspectives that are way down here. So we start with this personal perspective, and this reading really gives you examples exactly of what I'm looking for. So you have examples from previous student work, you have examples here in this reading, which will walk you through and explain why each step is important. And then I have this reading kind of broken down into 2 different module pages here to kind of reflect the 2 steps we're going to be taking on this. So the first thing you're going to do is prepare yourself for the visual analysis. So your first step is to choose something you want to analyze, and then you will go through these 9 steps of preparation. You only have to go through a few of them for your discussion board. There is an extra credit opportunity if you go through all of them. But step 1 and 2 is to complete a preparation for visual analysis. Then the next step is to actually do the visual analysis, and to do it through these 6 different perspectives, these 6 lenses that are all laid out in your in the reading. And most of these should be familiar to you and should test you essentially on previous modules that we've already gone through. The cultural perspective, we've talked a lot about culture and semiotics. The technical perspective, how were things created, the relationship between how something was made and how something got to you. We're talking about the medium and the message and the contents of production. Historical perspectives, you've looked at a lot of these with your photographs, doing research into photos. So what we're doing is moving through all of these perspectives in order to come to a more critical perspective. So the world is nuanced, it's not black and white. We have these initial reactions, these personal perspectives that are very that can be extreme on something, good or bad. And so what I want you to do is critically think and fold in all these other ideas and perspectives and ways of looking, so to speak, so that you can come to your visual analysis final. So for this discussion board, you will prepare by reviewing the instructions, watching John Berger, reading the visual analysis example, and then start by selecting what you want to analyze for your final. So you're essentially doing your final here in 2 small assignments. So the first assignment you're going to do is to prepare yourself, select what you're doing, what you want to analyze, and prepare yourself for the visual analysis. And then for your final, you will just submit your visual analysis. So you're welcome to use the templates that I've provided, or you can start a new page and just list the 6 perspectives and fill in each one. This is not a 5-paragraph essay. I am not your English teacher. I want you to analyze media and analyze visual media and the messages that are communicated. And I want to know about your experience of viewing it. How did you view it? How did the Eiffel Tower get from Paris into your eyeballs? And how does that impact your personal and your critical perspectives? So I have both of these lessons are open right now. So you can work through all of it and do it all in one swoop. If you want to get done early, you're welcome to do that. And then there is an extra credit end of semester feedback survey. I know it's been a weird and wild semester, and being online is not easy to be taking this class in an online environment, I understand. So please let me know what's working, what isn't, what can I do to help future students in this class succeed and learn the materials and get through to this final moment with as much ease as possible. So good luck in these last few weeks. Good luck on your final. And if you have any questions along the way, please message me, pop into the Pronto chat. I'm here to help. Good luck.